The cutting leads are in the left column. From the top down, we find the lead in, the lead out, and the direction of cutting for the part. One down from that, we find the lead in, the lead out, and the direction of cutting for the holes in the part. Next down are the leads for cutting small round holes in the part. Next are the extra leads which can be used on the part and on the holes. The lamps indicate if the regular or the extra leads are to be used. In the user module, we can set the default leads for all the machine types that we use. The options allow us to copy and paste the displayed leads. After changing, the default leads will appear in all new orders and could be modified in the Cut module. In defaults, in geometry control, in the fourth item down, we define the maximum radius for small holes. We enter the ratio times the thickness. For a ratio of 1, the maximum radius for a 20 millimeter thickness will be a radius of 20 millimeters. For a ratio of 2, the maximum radius for a 20 millimeter thickness will be a radius of 40 millimeters. In cut, there are several cutting modes. The most common and most used is the in and out mode, where the part or hole is cut completely. In the lead out, we can specify a gap, a positive gap to end the cut before the lead in location, or a negative gap to go beyond the lead in location. Leads that have a dot in the display are flexible leads. They are manually directed and are to be used in tight situations. The flexible leads require manual interference and cannot be used in automatic cutting. The leads for small holes can be a function of the radius of the small hole. This way, the leads are calculated automatically to the size of the small holes. There are segment leads and there are corner leads. Corner leads are not to be used if the part or the hole does not have a sharp corner. The in or out mode is to be used when we want to have bridges around the part. This is used, for example, in long parts to avoid the part bending due to heat. In duplicate mode, duplicate a sequence of cutting. We define the duplicate from the first to the last cut of the sequence. To duplicate, we must indicate the first cut in a similar sequence. In the delete section function, we can delete a section of the cutting by indicating from the start to the end of the section. In insert section function, we point at a rapid move between cuts. The program indicates the end of the rapid move by a white dot. Then the undo function is used to delete some cuts before the selected rapid move. After modifying the cutting, the user ends the function by the right button or by indicating on the white dot. Function modify part sequence allows us to modify the sequence of cutting the parts on the plate. The function change hold sequence allows modifying the sequence of cutting holes in a part. Function modify part cut is used to modify a lead in the cutting sequence. It can be used on a part cut or the cut of a hole. Between parts, the machine moves rapidly above the material. The function in material allows us to continue cutting between parts to reduce the number of piercings. It can easily be done between two parts, and if we prepare for it in the nesting, we can greatly reduce the number of piercings. In the chain cut mode, we can reduce the number of piercings by cutting sections of the parts and going back to cut the rest of the part. The disadvantage of this is that the part can move due to the heat before the cutting is completed, which will result in a loss of accuracy. The couple cut or common line cutting mode cuts two parts together with a common line. For that mode, we must have the kerf value defined in the order. In the nest module, we combine two parts with zero offset, where they need to have a common corner for the cut start. In cut, we select the couple cut mode. For a lead, we must select the corner gap lead to start the cut with a gap from the corner so as not to cut the corner twice. Between couples, we use the in material function. Please note that the common line cutting reduces cutting travel and reduces the number of piercings. It is great for oxyfuel and laser, but for plasma it should be taken into account that only one side of the plasma cuts straight. Please note the quick correction of a cutting mistake.